Dr. JC Cooley. That's right. Dr. JC Cooley. That's right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we got Dr. Michael Mantell back again. He has done it again. He has brought us another absolutely fantastic guest. that's going to educate us on a lot of things. I'm talking about this topic is new to me. So I'm going to be a student. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to learn because this guest that we got on today is incredible. And I tell you, Dr. Mike, this new to me.
Well, this is going to be great. And I hope you got your dancing shoes on and you're ready for some heartbeat rhythm because this is going to be a very special program. I don't want to steal Dr. Michelle Cooley's thunder on this, but let's get to it and bring our guests in.
So how you doing, Michelle? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a lovely conversation with our guest today before we went live. And the audience, you're going to be inspired by what she has to say. And we're excited to have her on and ready to introduce her.
Okay, so can you please do the honors of introducing the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this fantastic guest?
Oh, one more thing, audience, whatever platform you're watching the show on, please, ask questions, provide comments on this topic today. So it is 360 Health Day, Music as Medicine, Steps to a Sound Recovery. So Dr. Michael Mantell, our co-host today, and all of us, we're having a sit-down conversation with Dr. Alice H. Cash. She's a CEO. She's a surgical Serenity Solutions. She's going to discuss the science behind music and surgery. Surgical Serenity Solutions, a game changer in patient care, bridging holistic healing and modern medicine, expanding access to therapeutic music. So Dr. Alice H. Cass is one of the world's few clinical musicologists based in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. She brings to her work over 40 years of professional experience as a college professor, clinical therapist, solo and chamber music performer, and composer. Since 1990, she has been in the field of music medicine and conducted clinical research at the University of Louisville School of Medicine under the guidance of Dr. Joe Elkes, Dr. Leah Dickstein, and Dr. Rif El-Mallakh. Her clinical work at the University of Louisville led her to a career in music medicine. In addition to her work at the University of Louisville, Dr. Cash led the development of using music, a hospital setting at Baptist East Hospital, Louisville, Kentucky. She has founded 3 companies: Healing Music Enterprises, Surgical Serenity Solutions, and Crescent Hill Counseling. In 2008, she received a United States patent on her unique process for using music in the perioperative process. Today, her pre-programmed headphones are being used in leading hospitals in the United States and other countries. There's so much to talk about her, but I'm going to let her do it. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Alice H. Cash.
How you doing, Dr. Cash?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's an absolute pleasure having you on because I don't think our viewers ever seen the show that what we're getting ready to give them today, especially music and medicine, and like having surgery or all these other type of things. So I'm going to sit back most of the show. And I'm just going to learn. I'm going to let Dr. Mike take over. But I'm going to ask the first question. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what made you click, and how did you venture into the field that you're doing right now?
Okay, let me see if I can be succinct with that. I grew up in South Carolina. My father was a Methodist minister. And so I grew up hearing church music primarily. But as I got older, like 13, 14, I started studying with a classical piano teacher. And that's when I realized that classical music was probably going to be my career. And so I majored in piano performance, first at Florida State University, but then at University of Louisville. And I got my bachelor's and master's in piano performance. After that, I taught on the college level for 7 or 8 years and had 3 daughters. And around 1990, I became aware of the field of music medicine. And I went to hear a man who was working at the University of Louisville. And he told me that he would love to see me in this field. And later he told me that he had been offered a job at the University of Hawaii. and he would like to turn over the position to me. So I stepped into the field of music medicine in 1990 under the direction of Dr. Joel Elkes, and my life has been fantastic and very different ever since then.
That's phenomenal. You've had a very rich career spanning performance, composition, clinical research, clinical work as a therapist. I understand that this connection brought you to a job, but what spoke to you about the connection between music and medicine? What made sense to you about that?
Okay, so when I was expecting my 3 daughters, I found out that listening to music was not only calming and soothing to me, but to the unborn child. That was sort of my first big music and healing, music and medicine experience. And then in 1994, I had to have back surgery. And I had been reading, because of my job, about all of the applications of music in medicine, primarily with Alzheimer's patients, with premature babies, with children with Down syndrome, autism, things like that. But I was reading about music with surgery, and I was getting ready to have surgery. So I asked the neurosurgeon if I could bring my Walkman, which is all we had then, with cassette tapes inside, to the surgery and use it before, during, and after. And he said, sure. So I brought it in with 3 different tapes that I had put together, and he literally taped the Walkman to the operating table. And I had headphones with a cord to the Walkman, and I listened to 3 different tapes during the pre-surgery, surgery, and then recovery area. And he said my surgery was one of the most successful he had ever seen. And he attributed it, at least partially, to the music that I was listening to, and the fact that I woke up oriented, knew where I was, knew that the surgery was over. And that was a huge eye-opening experience. And then about a year later, if I can tell one more little story here, my mother in South Carolina was about to have open heart surgery, and it was very unexpected. They said she's going to need bypass surgery. So I threw all of these CDs in my car. By then, we at least had CDs, and I drove down to Greenville, South Carolina, walked into her hospital room with a stack of CDs and my headphones, and I said, Mama, you've got to use music during your surgery. And she said, oh, Alice, I don't really want to, but if you think it's a good idea, I'll do it. So we chose some music for her to listen to. And the surgeon, again, said, absolutely fine. I think it's a great idea. And she was in surgery for probably 6 hours. And she was listening to this Handel water music suite over and over during that time. And they finally said, it's over. You can go back now and speak to her for just a few minutes. So my father and I went back to the recovery area, and the second she saw me, she said, Alice, the music was beautiful. I will never have surgery without music again. And one of the benefits that she was aware of was that the patients in the recovery area only had a curtain separating them.
Right.
And she said, if I had not had those headphones on, I would have heard people moaning and crying out and calling for the nurse. But I had this beautiful music coming through headphones, and it was just a great thing.
So I've got to ask you.
Hey, Doc, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We got to take a station break. This is, wow, incredible already. Whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether you're watching us on the E36 television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, welcome to the show. You listen to us on the radio. Come on, AM 660 The Answer out of Dallas, AM 1170 The Answer out of San Diego. Welcome to the show. Want to be part of the conversation? Just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. We'll be back shortly after the break with a lot more of this great guest that we have. It's your life, and we'll see you then.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And Dr. Mike, man, I tell you, this guest already it inspired me. If I ever go back in for surgery again, I want them headphones or whatever that is. So wow, that was incredible. I got a question. You said that your mother went in for a 6-hour surgery.
Yes.
And she was able to mentally hear the music during that time?
That's a great question. So people want to know, when you're under general anesthesia, are you really listening to the music? And the fact is, your body is responding to the slow, steady pulse of my music, my proprietary music that I've put together. You're not consciously listening to the music, but your body is responding to the beat and keeping the heart rate steady and the breathing steady. Because when you're anxious, your breathing is shallow and rapid, and your heart rate is rapid. And the music brings you down to the healthy, resting heartbeat tempo right away as soon as you put on those headphones.
Wow.
And not only that, but it blocks out the music that the surgeon often has chosen his own music. And the reason I started this was because a nurse came to me and said there was a surgeon here that played Another One Bites the Dust when he operated.
No.
And I thought, no, that's awful. We have got to have music just for the patient. If the surgeon wants to play that, okay, but let's give the patient their own soothing, steady, slow, therapeutic music.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
We have a question from Mitch Axelrod. He wants to know, is there a way the playlist can be available on demand to organizations, companies, and businesses through a website?
Yes, that's a great question. We are beginning to license our playlist to hospitals, and it can be used not only in surgery, but definitely in chemotherapy, kidney dialysis, pain management, all labor and delivery. And all the hospital has to do is log into a website and they can stream our music to the patients through Bluetooth headphones or earpods.
And how about patients? Can patients, if I'm having surgery coming up and I want to hear the music, how do I get hold of it?
Well, you can download my mobile app for free. It's on the App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for Surgical Serenity Solutions. The app is free. And once you have downloaded the app, then you choose one of the 5 playlists. We've got classical, jazz, new age, lullabies, or memory care.
Are certain types of music better suited for healing, like classical music versus rhythmic beats, or is it more a personal preference?
Well, we know that the tempo of the resting healthy heartbeat is the goal for a healing state within the body. And so all 5 of these playlists have that tempo of the healthy resting heartbeat, but they're in different genres because people also need to, use their own personal taste in music as a guide. So if you like classical music, then that's going to be healing for you. But there is no research saying that classical is more healing than jazz or new age. It's more about personal preference and the characteristics of that music.
Tell us again the name of your website.
Surgical Serenity Solutions.com.
Surgical Serenity Solutions, all one word.
Yes.
Surgical Serenity Solutions.com. Okay.
Yes.
I have a question about this. Now, we use these words, we're tossing these words around. Is there a difference between music medicine and music therapy?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that because people do tend to use them interchangeably. Music therapy has to be administered by a music therapist, a licensed board certified music therapist. Music medicine can be prescribed. So a doctor, a nurse, a chaplain, a respiratory therapist, anybody can prescribe either just our 5 playlists, or we now have an MP3 player and the original headphones that are preloaded. And so when you order whatever device you're going to use or playlist, you just choose one playlist. So the headphones come with the classical or the jazz or the new age, and the MP3 players the same, but the MP3 players are intended for hospital orders.
Got it.
So you can get a lot more MP3 players for the same price of like 20 or 25 headphones.
So what's happening? What's happening in the brain and the body when we listen to music that makes it so powerful? What is the science telling us about how music affects the brain and the body to make it so beneficial during a surgical procedure or other times?
Well, one of the main principles that I like to talk about is rhythmic entrainment. So entrainment is when your body synchronizes to the pulse of the music, rhythmic entrainment. So when you listen to a piece of music and you find yourself bobbing your head, tapping your toe, snapping your fingers, whatever, it's an involuntary response to music. And as I said, when somebody arrives at the hospital the morning of a procedure, usually their heart rate is rapid, their breathing is rapid and shallow. And as soon as they come in contact with this slow, steady, soothing music through the 8th cranial nerve, and that's where the headphones and MP3 players are so important because it goes directly into the brain, and the whole body rhythms, the heart rate and the breathing begin to synchronize with the tempo of the music. And it allows the endorphins to flow, all of those positive serotonin, all of that begins to flow when the body that releases tension in the muscles and begins to lock in with that tempo of the music.
Dr. Cash, in your experience, are there certain types of patients or conditions that respond best to music-based interventions?
Well, I think almost everybody who's getting ready to have a hospital procedure is pretty anxious. And with older patients, I would have to say a lot of times they have already had one or more negative experiences with anesthesia. And when they understand that listening to this music can decrease the amount of anesthesia they require, they're like, sign me up. I want to try these headphones. And so I think anybody who's already had a negative experience with anesthesia or is very sensitive to anesthesia is going to want to try the music, whether it's our headphones or streaming the playlist to their own Bluetooth headphones, which is the easiest and least expensive way to go.
So if you have a playlist that you happen to like in particular, how do we know if that's going to be right or wrong for the goal that you're talking about?
Well, one of the things I say is anybody can make their own playlist. And but if you're not sure whether that tempo is going to be the tempo of the healthy resting heartbeat, another one of my sort of secret sauce ingredients that I'll mention is you don't want lyrics at all. You want purely instrumental music.
Uh-huh.
So if you can come up with 60 minutes or so of purely instrumental music that is slow and soothing to you, that you can close your eyes, take a deep breath and say, I'm going to get through this fine. Everything's going to be fine. Then use your own playlist. Mine is done for convenience so that the doctors don't have to play Another One Bites the Dust.
So let's talk about the doctors for a moment. I have so many questions. It's amazing. But how can healthcare professionals incorporate music for patients? In other words, how are they adopting this? Are they seeing this as valuable, or are they going, "Oh, that's crazy. That doesn't."
Well, that's one of the reasons that I post on LinkedIn as much as I do. If you go to my LinkedIn profile or
Yes.
my company, because there is so much research out there documenting over and over and over all of the benefits of having soothing, calming music delivered to the patient during their procedure, whatever it might be. And also just in behavioral health. I mean, a man in Arizona recently did a study that was primarily the focus of his PhD dissertation on the use of our headphones specifically with patients in behavioral health in a locked unit that might want to go to the nursing station for extra benzodiazepines between their regular doses. And the nurse instead would hand them the headphones and say, listen to this music for 30 minutes and see if you don't feel better. And it worked.
So for people dealing with stress or anxiety or chronic pain, this music can be of value as well. This is not just a surgical issue.
Exactly. Originally, I did it for surgery, but we have now been presented with so many cases from, like recently, Cleveland Clinic wanted to get them for their cardiac cath lab. And a man in New Mexico wanted to get them for ketamine infusions.
Uh-huh.
So there are just endless uses for this.
Now, you mentioned that your mom had a 6-hour surgery, and many surgeries are longer than an hour.
Right.
But is your playlist set for an hour? And what happens after that?
The playlists on both the headphones and the MP3 player automatically repeat. As long as the machine is turned on, the volume is on. The only thing that would stop is if the battery finally runs out, and the battery usually is 8 to 10 hours.
Uh-huh. So if you're listening to your own sort of,
Device.
AirPods or something, and the playlist does not repeat, what happens to the patient?
Well, that I don't think we've encountered that yet, because most people at this point either have a procedure that's less than an hour, like a lot of people stream the music for a dental visit, for a root canal or something.
Oh, great. Okay.
And I guess there are a lot of procedures that are an hour or under, or the patients have always used the headphones or the MP3 players. But that's a great question. There's got to be a way when they're streaming the music to make sure it repeats. And maybe one of the nurses would be assigned just to go and make sure to restart the music.
Right. Right. I mean, look, we see people today walking around with headphones, who knows what they're listening to on airplanes or whatever they may be. And the idea of using music and the beat to affect your heart, even when you're under anesthesia, is a powerful, powerful thing. What exciting advancements our breakthroughs are you seeing in the field of music medicine coming up?
I think the whole idea of streaming is becoming more and more attractive in hospitals so that they don't have to store or stock any hard device. So I think Bluetooth and of course AI, is getting into medicine as well.
Right.
Those I would say are the cutting edge things right now.
Wow. Tell you, we got to take a station break. I know that I'm looking at the numbers, Dr. Mike. It's a lot of people watching the show. And but I think they are afraid to ask questions. Well, whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. We'll be back shortly after the break with a lot more Dr. Alice Cash. It's your life, and we'll see you then.
At Viridian Christian University, we believe education is more than just a degree. It's a pathway to a purpose-driven life. Whether you're advancing your career, pursuing a passion, or building a new future, VCU's 100% online programs give you the flexibility to learn on your terms, anywhere, anytime. With expert faculty, personalized mentorship, and a faith-centered approach, you'll gain the skills, knowledge, and leadership you need to make a lasting impact. VCU offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, each designed to empower you for success in today's fast-changing world. Join a global community of believers, learners, and leaders. Ready to start your journey? Viridian Christian University, transforming lives, empowering futures. Visit us at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. That's ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
I'm Lori Edwards Tate, and I'm fighting to make sure every woman has the knowledge and resources to protect her heart, because prevention is power. 80% of heart disease cases are preventable. Small changes like eating healthier, exercising, and managing stress can save lives. Heart attack symptoms in women are often different from men. Many women don't feel crushing chest pain. Instead, they experience nausea, dizziness, back or jaw pain, or even extreme fatigue. Too often, these symptoms are ignored. That's why I'm a woman of impact, to spread awareness and help women recognize the warning signs before it's too late.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life on Wednesdays, 306 Degree Health, Dr. Michael Mantell. And we bring the best docs on in the world. Yeah. In case you did not hear that, we bring the best docs on, and not just docs, but professionals that's going to help us enhance our knowledge or understanding of the new technologies that are going on in the world, and also to help us be able to understand that we have to take care of our bodies and we have to do certain things. I believe, just like this, to me, this is new as it relates to Dr. Alice Cash about the music. She already got me I want to go out and get me the app or something already, because it's not just surgery, it's not just that, but sometimes I think we need to relax and take it easy. And I think her playlists that she's talking about, that she's going to continue to talk about, can help everybody out. So I got one question before I turn it back over to Dr. Mike and Dr. Cooley. Dr. Cash, how do you see this, new technology, health music, fitting into the mainstream healthcare programs?
Oh, gee. I mean, there are so many ways. If you looked at all the LinkedIn articles that I look in about using AI for diagnosing things, using AI for just a spectrum of solutions for whatever the problem is for the patient, it's just endless. I mean, apparently AI is the biggest thing. And I don't know whether Surgical Serenity Solutions will ever be using that, because as a musicologist, what I do is choose music that I know is going to work for all kinds of people. And I want to have playlists from every part of the world so that we have music that people in India or South America or Norway will relax to, and not just Western classical, jazz, new age music. I mean, every culture has its own music, and I would love to have a playlist that everybody can calm down to and help them not only calm down, but to focus. People are so distracted and they're so overwhelmed. And that's one of our goals to help people with as well.
Wow. We have to ask the other question, and that is about the contraindications. When do we say, no, this is not advisable to use music in a medical treatment or dental treatment? Is there any time you say, not a good idea?
The only sort of contraindication is music that the patient knows they have a negative association with. Because I've had people say that certain music reminds them of a breakup that they had with a person, and it brings, or a death in the family that is so sad they don't really want to hear that song anymore, or at least not anytime soon. So that's one of the reasons that for the classical playlist, I did not choose familiar classical pieces like Moonlight Sonata, Clair de Lune, Fur-Elise, because what if you played that on your 7th grade recital and had a memory slip?
Right.
You do not want to be hearing that as you're wheeled into surgery,
Right,
or into chemo, or into anything else. So I've chosen less familiar classical pieces. And I think, understanding associations, that's why you do need to make sure the patient knows about the playlist at their pre-surgery or pre-procedure visit, and they can listen to the samples. The samples are on the website. You just go to surgicalserenitysolutions.com/calm, CALM, and you'll get a 30-second sample of every playlist. And then you choose the one that you think is most relaxing for you.
And and then you can download it to your own device.
Right. Yes. Each playlist is $9.99. You download the app for free. The app itself, which has all the research, all of the 400 blog posts, and then you choose one of the playlists and you will stream that playlist, but it'll be on your phone forever for $9.99. You have that whenever you need to calm down and soothe.
Dr. Cash, have you run into skepticism from healthcare professionals about using music for healing?
I really have not. It's sort of amazing that in Kentucky, which is a conservative state, the only sort of pushback I've heard, I had a lady gynecologist once tell me that she preferred to talk her patients through a procedure rather than have them listening to music. She felt like she could talk them through it and keep them calm that way. But it depends on how complex that upcoming procedure is.
Right.
And then also, Dr. Cash, some people would prefer to hear soothing music instead of their physician speaking to them. It really depends on what is best for you, because I know for me, I rather hear calming music. I don't want to hear the chatter of
Better.
people's voices.
Exactly. And it's a
Mhm.
very individual thing, but the patient should at least be given a choice. Either we can talk about the weather, your vacation, your happy place, or you can have some beautiful, soothing music and you just close your eyes and listen to this music, and it'll be over in no time, the procedure.
When you call a certain like Apple or some of these companies and they'll put you on hold, they say, if you want to listen to classical, +1. If you want to listen to country western, +2. This and that, +3. Or if you prefer no music, press 4. So
Mhm.
the idea of having choice is so valuable, isn't it?
Absolutely. You got to give people choices.
I know when I had an MRI done about a year ago, they gave me a choice to listen to, different types of music. I put good old fashioned 70s disco and I was happy.
That's right. When you're in an MRI and you have all of that banging, you
Oh my
need
gosh.
something to kind of counteract that. But one of the things people don't know is a lot of MRI technicians are using their own Spotify account, and they'll say, "What kind of music do you want?" Now, as of 2019, January 1st, you're supposed to have a healthcare license if you
Oh,
want to use Spotify in a hospital. And
Oh,
a lot of people don't know that and are going to be subject to fines when they start seriously enforcing that, which I
wow.
hope will be soon.
yeah. So let's turn away from surgery and
Yes.
turn to more everyday emotional challenges. The world is filled with stress, uncertainty, difficulties, health issues, financial, career, relationship, all sorts of difficulties that drive people to us as therapists or coaches.
Right.
Tell it, what role do you believe music might play in emotional resilience and mental well-being?
Well, I know that people have songs that they associate with positivity and upbeat music that brings back happy memories to them. And that's what I suggest people go to. But now I had a therapy client just last Friday. To my surprise, she had read online that I used to do toning and chanting, and she wanted to learn about vocal toning as a way of calming down the body
Tell
and
us,
sort of
but tell us what that is.
vocal toning is releasing the breath, taking a deep breath and then releasing it slowly on a vowel sound, A-E-I-O-U. And that's something that I learned. The medical school actually sent me to study with a man named Don Campbell, who wrote the book, The Mozart Effect. And
Mhm.
Don was a big fan of toning and chanting. And it's a way of sort of helping your mind to go blank for a while, emptying it of all the chatter that goes on all day long. And our playlist, though, it has been said we're one of our big customers is the VA hospitals. And one of the nurses at the VA said she played our music while she was going through stacks of paperwork, and she was more productive than she had ever been. So there music can help in so many different ways. But if you're wanting to relax to the max and have your mind go blank, either one of the playlists or vocal toning, I highly recommend.
So if someone who's at home right now listening to this and they're looking to reduce stress or improve focus, is there some simple way they can use music as a healing tool? What's your advice?
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but downloading one of our 5 playlists for $9.99, I think would really, and listening to it through headphones. There's a big difference between headphones and ambient speakers,
Mhm.
because when you have ambient music, then let's say an ambulance goes by with a siren,
Ah,
or the monthly testing of the tornado equipment. All of that can be, or dogs barking, kids, playing outside. Put your headphones on and have one of our playlists or a playlist that you know about. Or if you want to do more actively, then learn about vocal toning. Drumming is another good one. Those are all ways of releasing stress.
Wow. we got to take a station break. I know, Dr. Cash, we have to pay the bills.
I understand.
We're going to take a station break, but I tell you, this is so extraordinary that I want people to comment, call in, do whatever they have to do. But I tell you what, if you want to be part of this conversation, go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. And one of the things that you mentioned earlier, Dr. Cash, India, we are in 186 countries, so that they are responding as well. So I tell you, we're going to take a station break. We're going to come back. We're going to enjoy a lot more of this conversation with Dr. Alice Cash. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you're created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. Oh yeah. It's the 4 C's.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. Come on.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you what, I'm enjoying this conversation with this great doctor. Actually, Dr. Mike Mantell every week at 360 degrees. Our day has changed to Wednesday, as you already know. But again, he brings the best guests, and Dr. Cash is here with us today, and she's educating us on a lot of things that I did not know that existed, especially doing surgery. And I tell you, we're going to get right back to her because we only got like 10 minutes left in the show, 8 minutes, something like that. Dr. Cash, one thing I want to say before we even get back to that, I would love to have you back on the show again, if your schedule permits. If your schedule permits. You know, I would love to have you back. Dr. Mike, you think we can do this?
I think we can sing a song that convinces her to do it. I think we can get some music to get her to do it. Some very motivational theme music.
Oh, yeah. I got one question. I'm going to turn back over to Dr. Mike, but what's most surprising thing that you have learned about the power of music over your career? Dr. Mike, what's some of the thing that stands out that you want our viewers and our listeners to know?
Well, I suppose one of the things that really surprised me had to do with a specific setting where music would be so important that I would never have thought of. And that is with joint replacement surgery. People who are having knee replacements, hip replacements, ankle replacements, and shoulder replacements. Apparently, those are done not under general anesthesia because they have to talk to the patient while it's going on. And so they are sedated, but they can still talk. So when you're having a joint replacement, there is drilling, there is sawing, and there's hammering. I know, and nobody really wants to hear that. So it's very important to give the patient some headphones, preferably. This is a case where I would definitely go for the headphones because that muffles some of those sounds.
Why don't we just put the patient out?
Well, because they need to talk to them. They need to say, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and do you feel this? So
JC, this is not for us.
No, because I had both my hips replaced, and what she's saying is true. I mean, I thought I would sleep, but I wouldn't. And the drill, they brought me in just like what you just said. I looked over, they had 2x4s, they had a saw, they had all. I mean, like,
what am I doing?
And
so the music makes a difference, right?
Absolutely.
I didn't have music back then, but I wish I would have had music back then because everything that you are talking about today, I'm telling you, this is new to me, and I like it. I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Dr. Mike.
There is one other story regarding that I want to tell you, and that is Louisville had a very famous spine surgeon. And spine surgeries, I guess, are typically 6 or 7 hours every time for scoliosis and things like that. And so I spoke to a group of retired physicians a few years ago, and in the audience was the man, Dr. Kenton Leatherman, who founded this Leatherman Spine Clinic. And he said in the early 50s, he did spine surgery and he paid a woman to be in the corner with a record player and 78 RPM records. And she would flip the records every 3 minutes so that the patient, if they came out of anesthesia, would have some soothing, beautiful music. And one day a lady did come out a little bit earlier than expected, and the music that was playing was When the Saints Go Marching In. And that she was kind of startled by that, wasn't sure where she was. And so they put the ether back on her and she went back to sleep. But he said, I've always used music when I do surgery.
Oh, isn't that interesting? That's so fascinating. So what's next for Surgical Serenity Solutions?
I would say the expansion into so many other areas. I mean, we have been doing surgery since 2009. We've been selling to Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins. We want to get in lots more hospitals, but now we're realizing chemotherapy, kidney dialysis, delivery. There's hardly any area of a hospital or clinic that can't benefit from our playlist. And then also, I am wanting to collaborate with more anesthesiologists and surgeons and get them on board and ready to take my company forward because I will hopefully retire in the next 5 years, let's say.
Right.
So I want people that are ready to choose more playlists and help get the word out. And I do want to say regarding the playlist, they are $9.99 a piece. And I feel like the headphones are $250 a piece, and the MP3 players are 4 or 5 for the price of one headphone. So we sell them 100 at a time to hospitals. But moving the company international, getting the playlists international, and incorporating more streaming, that's what's in the future for us, I think.
This is fascinating. Fascinating. What message would you like to share with listeners who might be skeptical about healing potential of music as we begin to wrap this up? What's the message you want to leave people with?
I would say that healing with music is as ancient as writing on a cave wall. People have known since the beginning of time about the healing music of nature. And the original music that was written for humans was an attempt to duplicate bird songs and babbling brooks and waves on the shore. This is nothing new at all. And now the difference is in our time, we have the empirical data showing how much less anesthesia the patient is going to need, how much less opioid. And I haven't mentioned that, but that was one of my big motivators. The opioid crisis has taken out so many people. And if you can supplement pain medication with music, you can cut opioids in half.
Well,
So,
when you think about people who go to a gym and work out or run, and
yes.
we listen to music while we're doing this to help distract us and take our mind away from the pain and all that, this is something similar, isn't it?
It is the thing with music at the gym, which I'm a big believer in. That's where rhythmic entrainment really starts, because you have that music that's pumping, and like Dr. Cooley has on his show, he's got that pumping kind of music,
Right.
and that gets people revved up. My music is the opposite, but the principle is the same. Rhythmic entrainment brings you down and calms down that heartbeat. But when you're at the gym, you want to pump it up. So it's all about rhythmic entrainment.
Wow, we're down to the last minute of the show. Can you tell our viewers and listeners how they can get in touch with you, how they can get those headphones and your product again? You got 45 seconds or less.
Okay, I would urge everybody to write this down. Surgical Serenity Solutions. That is where all of the information is. And you can go to that website, surgicalserenitysolutions.com, or if you just Google Dr. Alice H. Cash, it'll all come up. Everything I've ever written, my YouTube videos, all of it will come up. On the website, surgicalserenitysolutions.com, I have a lot of patient testimonials, doctor testimonials, hospital administrator testimonials. It's all there. The website is the place to go, but you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Music for Surgery. It's all there.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you again, Dr. Mike. Thank you as well for coming on the show. Dr. Mike, I would love to have you back on. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
If our schedule permits, I'd like to thank absolutely my partner, Dr. Mike Mantell, for always bringing great guests, and that's my mentor as well, in case you guys know. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely sensational show. I'd like to thank my producers in San Diego, AM 70 Answer in San Diego, and AM 660 The Answer in Dallas. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life, and we will see you then.